Welcome to the Nut Gallery Review podcast, bringing you the news on the media that shapes your world.
Welcome to episode 168. I'm Jason Schulte.
I'm Sean McFadden.
And Mike Anstedt.
Well, in movie news,
Nothing.
well, Mulan has been moved back to an unknown date. Disney isn't even going to put a date on it anymore because they're tired of moving it. And Wonder Woman has moved to October. So any hopes that we'd come roaring back in August is long gone.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 movies still left slated to come out in August. So we'll talk about those real quick, but word of caution, it's highly likely that they will either get moved or format will change by the time they get around to the end of August. The first one is Antebellu on August 21. Successful author Veronica finds herself trapped in a horrifying reality and must uncover the mind-bending mystery before it's too late. Midnight release for Sean, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
I agree.
And then the other one, next one is The New Mutants on August 28th.
Now that's still slated for August as well?
It was according to the website today.
Okay.
So as of 7/28/2020,
nice.
it was still going forward. At some point, someone in Hollywood has to release stuff, or the theaters will just never open. Well, they'll be on like that cycle of if nothing gets released, we can't open. But New Mutants is a new group of teenage mutant superheroes, which includes Native American Danielle Moonstar, Scots Girl, Wolfsbane, Brazilian Ladies Man Sunspot, and Kentuckian codenamed Cannonball and Russian Team Magic all train at the Xavier Institute. It's a spin-off of the X-Men franchise.
Yeah, with some of the lesser-known heroes there.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am looking forward to seeing Magic and Wolfsbane on the big screen.
You've been so down on the X-Men films, though, like for a long time.
That is true. That's because they haven't made a quality one in a long time.
Yeah, since like Days of Future Past, right?
Days of Future Past was solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we'll see. This seems more like should have been a direct-to-TV TV series, but we'll see if it translates into a movie.
You know what? If this is the, really quote unquote the first, blockbuster back in theaters, it could really do staggeringly well numbers for them if it's really the only thing that's there.
And maybe that's what they're banking on. I mean, there's been no marketing really that I've seen yet, so that makes me think they're not investing money in that right now until it's closer and they know if it's actually happening.
They did catch the trailer of it before the oh my gosh, drive-in movie the other week. So I mean, they are advertising.
The other movie coming out is The Courier on August 28th as well. So it might be August 28th would be a good week to open back up because you could have 3 films potentially. The Courier is Cold War spy Graville Wynn, a British businessman, helps the CIA penetrate the Soviet nuclear program during the Cold War. Wynn and his Russian source, Oleg Penkas, codenamed Ironbark, we'll just go with that, provide crucial intelligence that ends the Cuban Missile Crisis. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch. It is based on a true story of a British businessman who is recruited by the CIA to provide intelligence during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Excellent.
So honestly, if they would move Antebellum back a week, they could have 3 decent films to open theaters with.
Which, honestly, that's what I see happening. Just to have something to get everyone to open it up.
Yeah.
And they need at least 1 kid film added to that. And they'd be good.
Well, I mean, come on. The drive-in's been playing Jumanji The Next Level for like 2 solid months here.
Dang, I need to see that.
It's good.
Yeah.
Seriously, it is. It's a lot better than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
Still think the first one was better than that one, but
I do as well, but I still think the second one was very good.
I don't even foresee theaters opening up in August. I just maybe I'm, being a little pessimistic, but man, I just don't know. And did you guys see that AMC made a deal with Universal? I think it was today or yesterday, where because AMC told Universal that they can't show movies at their theaters anymore. This was earlier this year, and then apparently they just made a deal that Universal has 17 days where they could put a movie in the AMC theater before bringing it to a digital copy. Which that's unprecedented. I mean, you usually don't have digital copies for like 2 to 3 months after a movie's release, which is crazy.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
AMC also filed for bankruptcy protection too. So
yeah, we'll see.
Which is a good thing for movie theaters. I mean, you literally cannot social distance at like the Avengers midnight release. Like, it's just impossible. So
how is AMC declaring bankruptcy a good thing, though?
No, they're not declaring bankruptcy. They're declaring, didn't he just say bankruptcy safety or something like that?
Bankruptcy protection, yeah, which means they're hurting pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're losing millions right now for months on end. They have mortgages on all these buildings that they can't pay.
Yeah.
Each bay costs around $250,000 to $500,000 to equip. So that's just starter cost.
Sorry, when I hear the word protection, I think of it as a good thing. Sorry.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I just, usually that's a precursor to actual bankruptcy is what I've seen. But yeah.
Well,
I thought maybe you were more leaning towards we'd see more, of the smaller names pop up for theaters because AMC is kind of everywhere.
No, I mean, I don't care about that. I mean, at least with, when you go to the bigger places, you get, high quality sound production, high quality visuals as well. Like some even smaller guys just don't have the equipment to battle those. So, I mean, it is what it is, business. And yeah, it's going to be tough for them to come back. Even if they do announce that they're coming back and have a good plan, I still have a good social distancing plan. I still see it hurting a lot, obviously.
Well, and they can't like block off every 6 feet of seats because if I go with my family, I'm going to want to sit together.
Yeah.
So I mean, they can still do blocks.
Yeah. You're every other row, or something. It can be done. It can be done.
Oh, it definitely can be done. But
I think they'll just have to limit the number of people in each bay. Is the only way they're going to control that. Mm-hmm. Like the movie sells out at half capacity, and then leave it up to the patrons to figure out how to be safe.
Well, then business too. Let's be honest. Like if Walmart ran through it recently, a lot of businesses have gone. If you declare hey, masks are mandatory, that's hurting your business as well because there's a certain percentage of Americans who don't believe that masks help either. So they're not going to go if they, if it's required or anything like that. So I do not envy leadership for some companies and just in these times and deciding how to get back into the swing of things. I don't envy that.
I don't know that I would want to go watch a movie and sit with a face mask on for 2 hours and try to eat popcorn and drink a soda.
I mean, when you're eating, obviously there's that, but how does AMC balance that? That's the question, and like I said, I wouldn't envy those people making those decisions. So
before we bore our entire audience of 4 to death, we should probably move on to DVDs.
All right. Well, clearly with not having movies coming out, the DVDs, they're kind of dipping down in there. There's not a whole lot of, how shall we say this, greatness to be found. Swallow comes out. I know. But it's almost as bad as you think. She has this thing about swallowing everything. Like you see in the trailer, she swallows a thumbtack, she swallows a marble, and it's just like she feels in control of her life when she is swallowing these things. And so, yeah, it's really good. She looks like she's faking pretty much everything else in her life except when she's swallowing these odd objects. So, yeah, little weird. The Resistance Fighter also comes out our first week in August here. Essentially a Polish war movie during World War II, where he is trying to get the local resistance going in a small Polish town there before the Nazis overrun everything. And that is pretty much it for your first week. Your second week, we have actually a movie that you said you wanted to see there, Mike. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's coming out. And then How to Build a Girl comes out as well there. It actually, watching the trailer, looks kind of interesting there. Basically, this kind of just, no real special appearance teenager is really trying to get in to music journalism, and no one takes her seriously. And then she kind of reinvents herself as this kind of, more out there personality, new hair color, new style, everything like that. And then people start giving her a chance. So it looks interesting, at least. Next, we have a bunch of just bargain basement stuff. Week of August 18th. If you are a collector, the CW Batwoman series comes out. Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons from DC's animated universe there, which they have been churning out some pretty nice ones there. It's Deathstroke's Knight and Dragons, where evidently Deathstroke kind of playing the anti-hero this time instead of the villain. We have Military Wives, where basically a group of military wives form a choir, and they basically get recognized and are asked to have this big performance, and it's about all the emotions and everything of the military wives and the stress of everything and going on there. Week of August 25th, we've got the Burnt Orange Heresy, which is interesting in the fact that it's with Mick Jagger in it. So essentially it's about this couple finding Mick Jagger, who is this kind of, I guess, art curator, and he directs them towards this pretty much very unknown or very well-known artist, but very reclusive artist. And so there's just a fair amount of intrigue, but I couldn't help but noticing, and my girlfriend noticed as well, it almost sounds like an old Craig Ferguson bit of him talking about interviewing Mick Jagger and Mick Jagger wanting to make a movie. So I saw this and I was like, wait a minute, he finally got it. Past that, The King of Staten Island, that's the one with Pete Davidson and the fire department. And then final movie is The Trip to Greece, with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, pair of British actors going on a culinary tour of the Greek Isles. Evidently, it's a series of the Trip series. And basically, It just seems like them going around eating and cracking jokes at each other the whole time. That's what I caught from the trailer.
And the sad part is, so far, that's the most interesting thing you mentioned.
Yeah. It's I mean, if you're into British humor, not that bad a thing. However, that is pretty much it. There's collections of TV shows coming out there. Flash, 6 seasons coming out, as I said, Batwoman. But other than that, that's pretty much all your movie releases there. If we're not getting movies in theaters, they're digging for stuff from 2017 and stuff to put out there. So
I didn't get a chance to see the release date, but they just announced a 4K Ultra HD trilogy edition of the Back to the Future stuff as well. So that's coming out soon.
I don't own any of the Back to the Futures, which is really sad. So I should make that happen.
They're hardly on any streaming service either. So
they're such a good set of movies.
Yeah, so I might pick up the 4K versions. So,
just in other news, are you done with your list?
Yes, that is all of them.
In other news, they've been advertising pretty heavily the Peacock app.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it just to see what was on there, and they do have quite a selection of stuff that's free. There's also some weird stuff that you have to pay for that doesn't make sense, but one of my favorite TV series, Eureka, is on there because they own Sci-Fi as well, I'm guessing. So that's cool. They have all the seasons, all the episodes on there, and it's free. So I was pretty excited to see that show up. So, yeah, they're kind of delivering on their promise that it would be a free service with lots of free series. So.
They're also had some they had some backlash towards it because I was reading that the Fast and the Furious movies were on there, and then they were taken off like right away.
Must be some behind the scenes stuff on that.
I don't know, but like it released on one day, and the next day they were gone apparently. And same thing with Jurassic Park. I think the trilogy for Jurassic Park was only on there for.
It's still on there.
It is? Okay.
At least the newer ones are still there. I think there might have been contracts for them to broadcast them on their stations, but not to digitally stream them. So maybe that's where they ran into some contract problems.
Maybe
where they had rights for one service but not the other.
Peacock has all the Psych stuff, so I downloaded it to watch the Psych movies, I think. So
it has Sequest if you want to go back to the 90s sci-fi.
Good old Sequest DSV, huh?
Yeah, and the 2032.
Oh wow. Okay.
And Battlestar Galactica is on there.
The
newer one. The newer
one. As long as you skip the last season, it's a fantastic run.
So, I'm hopeful that some of the other sci-fi stuff will show up at some point. Sliders is on there for sci-fi fans.
Wow. Little Jerry O'Connell.
So, I mean, it's kind of showing you the range. It goes all the way back to, like, Leave It to Beaver. All of the seasons in black and white are there.
Yo, Leave It to Beaver, man.
I might
don't
actually
sleep
have
on
to check
that show.
Out.
Yeah, so I was kind of impressed with the range of free stuff. The first two things I click on were like, oh, you have to pay. You get episode 1 for free. But if you want anything else, you have to buy it. And I'm like, really, guys? That's what you're gonna.
It's free, man.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna do. Is you're gonna say it's free, and then give us like one episode, and then as I click down the further, there's like more stuff that's free. It's just really weird. Their sorting algorithm, alphabetizes stuff, except the Hell's Kitchen is way down at the bottom in the section. So their algorithm didn't pick up that the should be dropped from their titles when they sort it alphabetically. Video games.
All right. Well, this one has a little bit more interesting than your DVD release.
Yay!
So just gonna hit some of the heavy hitters here. First and foremost, August 4th for the PlayStation 4 and PC, it is Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. This game, it's basically a kind of like I believe it's kind of like a battle royale, but you're kind of running through an obstacle course and you're just trying to survive and get to the end. Now, if you are a PlayStation Plus member, it is free for you. So go ahead and download it, check it out. So next on the list, I want to highlight August 6th coming to mobile devices is Brawlhalla. So iOS and Android, that is already on multiple platforms already, and it is cross-platform. So you would be able to play with your mobile friends if you wanted to do that. Now, guys, are you ready for a blast to the past?
Sure, hit me.
Coming August 7th, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC is Fast and the Furious Crossroads. The reason why I say it is a blast to the past is because every single trailer they have shown is like PS2 graphics. It is some of, I want you guys to watch this after we're recording here. It is some of the worst trailers I have ever seen graphically. Like, why are they even making this game?
What systems is it coming out on?
PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And, legit, it looks like a PlayStation 2 game. I kid you not. But basically the concept of it is you are actually going on their hijacking runs. So you're kind of performing some of those scenes that you see even in the original Fast and the Furious, where I don't think you're performing like the actual scenes, but like just what they came up with the game, and you're right, kind of trying to steal things. So basically,
it'd be awesome if you could drive through Brazil with a safe behind your car. That would be awesome.
Right. So I don't know if you want to check it out. It's going to be a full-fledged $60 game for PS2 graphics. So I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Well, with this kind of glowing review, I think we got to get it.
Yeah.
Let's be hopeful that the graphics in the trailer were just bad and not indicating of the game.
I'm certainly hopeful. Not a lot of licensed video games are always the best regardless, but, we'll see. This definitely will have an audience for sure.
Well, I mean, come on. There's all kinds of games out there that are so similar. The Need for Speed series is like almost parallel with it. You just, hey, guys, let's make a licensed one,
Yeah. Jeez. I mean, man, hating on my Need for Speed series, man.
I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying it's a similar vein. I was saying that, people that made Need for Speed, maybe, get a couple of those guys over to help you out.
Maybe, yeah. I think they need to work on their graphics first.
I'm watching the trailer right now. It doesn't look that bad.
Oh, it's bad.
Wait. Can we share this so we can all see it here, Jay?
I probably can. Yeah.
All right, let's see it.
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
Oh, no. You gotta go to the one to the top right.
It's Fast and Furious Crossroads. You said they all look terrible.
No, this is the gameplay trailer. I mean, this still doesn't look the best. I'm talking about this one. The top right.
This one here.
Yeah. Just wait till you see their faces. It's like, what are you even Vin Diesel?
Well, they probably didn't pay.
Here we go. We have a nice little trailer.
Still doesn't look that bad.
Just wait.
Okay.
It looked worse, I guess, at the Game Awards. I don't know. It looks bad, guys. I'm just saying.
The car models look great. The character models are not so awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I think we've made our point. I think we can move on.
Look at that.
Yeah. Character model's not so great.
Okay. Anyway, PC on the PC on August 7th, the PS4 exclusive Horizon Zero Dawn does come to the PC. I know there's a lot of folks in the PC community who are really excited for that. So,
Solid
take a
game.
look.
I didn't get
Yeah.
too far in it, but it's pretty good.
I'm also kind of in the middle of it, and it's super fun. Another PC, August 13th, PC game Total War Saga Troy comes out. So obviously there's a huge audience for the Total War franchise, and
Good
the
series.
new one comes out. Coming to the Switch, this is already on the other consoles, but on the Switch on August 14th is Deliver Us to the Moon. It's basically a puzzle game on the moon, trying just to explore the moon. Yeah.
Is the moon there? Is the moon
Yeah,
involved? I just want to know. Is there a moon? Because if there's no moon, I'm not in, man.
There's a moon, and there's an astronaut. So,
Dude, there we go. I'm in.
PlayStation 4, Xbox One on August 14th. EA Sports UFC 4 comes out. So, definitely an audience there, guys. Now, the pinnacle of graphical fidelity here. Let me tell you. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this, but these do not look like PS2 graphics.
I'm waiting for like a soccer game or something.
There's a soccer game later.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not talking about that. Microsoft Flight Simulator comes to the PC on August 18th. I do believe this will be coming to the new Xbox as well, but it's not obviously slated for that just yet. But man, this game looks amazing. I mean, it's a simulator.
They've never skimped on any of the simulator series.
Yeah.
They always look top notch.
So and this one here, they haven't done Flight Simulator in a long time, but this one here, I've been looking at some of the stuff, and they're like legit. I believe they're integrating like Google Maps into the game, or something like that, and just like it's going to be a full-fledged like amazing simulator. So I would be thrilled to play this on a high-end PC and just kind of like believe it might have some VR support too. I just think it would be incredible.
So what do you mean when you say that they're integrating Google Maps into it?
So maybe it's Google Earth. It's one of those where they're kind of integrating just like a whole Earth map system to it, and it's just you're actually gonna be able to like fly over Chicago, like and like see legit landmarks,
actual landscape and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'm with you now.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing it either if someone else pays for the high-end PC you need to actually run it with full graphic mode.
Right, for sure. Sean and probably Jason as well. And to be honest, maybe even me too, because I'm into these games more often now. But Pathfinder Kingmaker comes out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on August 18th. So another game in the Pathfinder series.
It does not pull punches. Let me just tell you.
So, let's see here. Skipping down, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, Stadia, and PC August 21st. We have PGA Tour 2K21. So for those golf fans who have been kind of craving for a golf like actual simulation game instead of just like a party golf game, then yeah, you got that. August 25th on the PS4 and Xbox One comes Insurgency Sandstorm, which is a first-person shooter, but it's more focused on campaign instead of multiplayer, I believe. So it's definitely it's story-driven. Next on the list, our soccer game, Street Power Soccer. This was announced maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that, but it's basically just another like street style of soccer game. Comes out PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on August 25th.
Is that like the NBA Street series? Is that what you mean by that?
It's not the same, but it's not. Okay. It's not EA. EA did NBA Street, but
it did FIFA Street too.
Yeah, EA did FIFA Street as well. But no, this is just more of like an arcadey version of a soccer game instead of like a like a FIFA, so.
Well, I was just in a conversation where someone had asked on social media, what EA games would you bring back that they don't have anymore? And of course, NCAA football was first. And then I said MLB Bigs. And then my third one was FIFA Street. So it's kind of cool that they're coming back with one of my three.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have something to mess around with there if you choose to pick it up. And the real answer to that question is NBA Street, by the way, Jason. Just letting you know.
I'd rather have NBA Jam. Sorry.
No.
At this point, I think we'll take any.
Whatever. Fine. The Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition comes out to the PlayStation 4 and Switch on August 27th. As well as August 27th, announced last week is an adventure game, story game called Tell Me Why. It's basically about a son who was going to be murdered by his mother, I believe, and now has like a telepathic connection with his sister, and they're able to kind of like see visions in there, and you're just trying to figure out the mystery because from the trailer it made it seem like maybe the mom didn't actually try to kill the son, and maybe it was something else. So
did Hideo Kojima direct this? Jeepers. It's all over the place.
But anyway, that comes out Xbox One, PC, August 27th. That is a Xbox One console exclusive. Jump Force comes to the Switch on August 28th. That was reviewed a while ago. It's already on the other consoles. PlayStation, wow, our first announced really PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, PC, August 28th, Madden NFL 21 comes out.
Speaking of, do we have an actual launch date set down yet? Have you heard anything on that?
For the new consoles, no.
Okay.
I suspect that Xbox will announce next month, because I don't know if you saw the PlayStation 5 reveal event, but they revealed a disk driveless. There's a all digital version of the PlayStation.
Yeah, the solid state drive. Yeah.
No, just all digital, no disk drive. There's a solid state drive in both of them.
Okay.
So you won't get discs anymore, Sean. You'll only be able to buy your games digitally.
Boo.
If you buy this certain version, there's a more expensive version with the 4K HD, drive. But Xbox is supposed to announce their digital version of the next gen console next month. That's the rumor. So I'm thinking that they'll announce the release date and hopefully the prices next month. And then I'm predicting October for Xbox, because I really think they want to jump the gun on PlayStation and kind of get a head start.
Well, wait a minute. If we're not seeing anything until October, you just said we've got 2 games for them coming this month.
Yeah, I was going to explain that. So the reason why Madden NFL 21 says here PlayStation 5 is because if you buy the Xbox One version or the PlayStation 4 version, you will automatically get an upgrade to the new version when you purchase the new console. So it is technically one of their releases. So they will have a graphics upgrade and everything like that. But in Madden's case, they do have a time limit. So I think you need to buy the new console by April or May, in between there, and then claim your upgrade before that upgrade expires. So I've been staying away from Madden games for a long time. So it's not my cup of tea anymore.
Same.
I think their microtransactions are...
It's killed the game, right?
Gross. They are gross. And so...
It's
same with
taken
NBA.
what was a solid game and was really just... I mean, arguably the king of the pack, and has just tarnished it.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
that's EA's methods, though. Now, I mean, they
Hey,
do it
I
with
know.
everything.
I know. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
Enough's not. I mean, controlling the entire market for that isn't enough. They want now
yeah.
all to nickel and dime everyone
Mm.
after the fact.
I think EA, if they got on the bus of like, hey, let's give you a $20 game, you pay $20 that for just one time, and then each year we give you a free roster update, and then we push out microtransactions. I'd be totally okay with that, you know, but because it's a one-time purchase and you just get free roster updates every single year. Or even free to play. I mean, look at Apex Legends. It's making a crap ton of money because of microtransactions, but it's 100% free to play.
Fortnite too.
Title too. Yeah, Fortnite as well. So,
or even
I really
if
think sports games should go down that road.
they split it into each game type that you want to play would be a separate game, and cut down that price point. Like, oh hey, you want offline franchise mode. Awesome. Here you go. Here's that set. Oh, you want to play, with your friends online. Okay, here's this one. You want to do the All-Star Madden with the cards and all of that. Okay, here you go. There's your free to play right there. Because holy crap, they want money all the time. But anyway.
Exactly. Moving on, last game I want to mention is Project Cars 3. Comes out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on August 28th. This is more on the simulation side of racing games, but there is a huge audience for this game, actually.
I hope they worked out their bugs this time before launch.
Yeah, so that's the last one. There's definitely other games on the list, but those are the heavy hitters. Now, just if you're listening to this podcast and haven't heard, Xbox had their recent game showcase, and I thought it was really good. And the biggest star of that was actually Game Pass. Every single game shown last week goes directly into Game Pass. So basically for $10-15 a month, you get some awesome killer games right off the bat. I think Game Pass is really going to sell the Xbox Series X, So that's kind of video game news here. Sorry, something that wasn't mentioned, August 9th. Free demo for Tony Hawk Pro Skater Remaster 1 and 2. It is the warehouse demo on August 9th, just like the original demo that they sent you on those discs back in the day.
That's cool. That's cool. I approve. This is fantastic. Man, I knew that warehouse inside and out. Everywhere else, I was lost. Warehouse.
It's the same exact demo, except it's the remaster. It's going to be amazing.
I'm in. Let's do this.
I'm hopeful that Xbox, when they start doing the games with gold, that they stop doing 360 and they do Xbox, the next generation plus Xbox One.
Yeah.
Then and start phasing the 360 out, because some of those games they give are just.
I think they will phase the 360 out for sure, but don't be surprised if they phase games with gold out entirely, just because of how good of a deal Game Pass is. That's just a guess, way out there, but I still think they probably have some good stats about people, definitely downloading those each and every month. So maybe they'll keep it around for a while. Probably a long time for the Xbox One, I would say.
Yeah, I think, they're still getting the $50 for Xbox Live. So.
No, that's changing.
Did
you see that?
No.
So they recently announced that they're getting rid of their $60 12-month subscriptions. So you either got to do a 3-month or a 1-month. And so I think they're kind of leaning towards the Game Pass Ultimate, which is $15 a month, gets you Game Pass and Xbox Live for the month. And to be honest, I think it's a fantastic deal with the amount of games you get for Game Pass, and you get new titles, like Microsoft new titles. Even some third-party games are going in day one of their release into Game Pass. I think Game Pass is the best. It's the best deal in gaming right now. Best deal.
So what I'm hearing is you don't like Game Pass at all, and you think it should go away.
Yeah, I hate it. It's the worst thing in the world.
All right, I'm glad we're all on the same page.
John, you can get it for your PC too. Like that's just how crazy it is. So anyway, that's enough about me.
Carry us on, Jay.
Movie classic. Also Mike. So You're not done with him.
Okay. So I just have been wanting to watch this movie for a long time, just like to just reminisce about my childhood and rewatch it. So I decided to choose Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. And I don't think you need to any bumper. It's the Power Rangers. There's a bad dude. They're going to fight him, and they're probably going to win the day. You know, that's kind of how it is. This one, there's obviously tie-ins to the show specifically, which we can go into. But basically, the Power Rangers lose their powers when this new big bad Ivan Ooze
Go Power Rangers.
Ivan Ooze is in town.
Go
Power Rangers.
All right, I'll let you guys sound off.
Go ahead, Mike.
Anyway, they lose their powers and they have to go search for a new ancient power called the Ninja Zords, I believe. So they go and try to find that to save the world. And Ivan Ooze tries to take over Angel Grove and its parents. And fine, say it, Jason.
What?
You were about to say it. I saw your face.
I was, because every time you said ooze, I was going to say go Power Rangers.
Anyway, let's be upfront and honest. This movie is not the best. Like, as far as just like acting and stuff, and just like CG stuff like that, it's not the best. But it was probably a smaller budget, probably, and just, I mean, it's a Power Rangers movie. It's supposed to be a little corny. It's supposed to be a little childish. But
I'll actually jump on your point there for a sec, because I actually thought the effects right up until the CG monsters and everything, I thought the effects were actually pretty good. Right up until like you go, oh right, this was a '90s movie.
Yeah, I was talking specifically CG. About the Zords at the end. Yeah.
All right.
A little rough. But other than that, I just think it's a fun movie. If you're a fan of Power Rangers, it's just a fun movie to kick back and relax, have it on in the background. You don't even really have to pay attention because, the formula is about the same as every single Power Rangers episode, They fight, they lose, they morph, they lose, they Megazord, they win. That's kind of how it is.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Right?
All right. Well, Jay, if you don't mind, I'll step in here next.
Go for it.
This movie I have not seen it before, so I'll put that out there. This was my very first viewing of it.
Nice.
It was mine as well.
This was distilled nostalgia. That's what this was. I was like, oh, right. And I was like, oh my gosh. And, I'm explaining a few things during the movie. And I'm like, wow, I'd forgotten how much I remembered about the Power Rangers. Yeah, it was my one thing is I wish they could have gotten the all original Power Rangers, but I know they couldn't because the storyline and everything with the show, they couldn't do that. But that would have been a nice, having the original set before they moved on. I think that would have been nicer, but
man, I'm totally with you on that. Totally.
Well, this was setting up season 2, right? Season 2 or season 3?
It was it was, I believe it might have been season 3. You gotta think about, seasons for 90s shows were like sometimes even 30, 40 episodes.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So you may be right, Jason.
I know it conflicted with their filming of the next season because it ran long. So they were actually filming the next season and this movie at the same time.
Oh man.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, really quickly to your point, I think it's one of the great. Even though I really enjoy this film, I think it's one of the greatest travesties that you don't have the original Power Rangers cast, because even the original Power Rangers cast was around by the time the White Ranger came. So I mean,
Yep.
you could have had that film, you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's my one thing that I noticed watching the movie is clearly, the White Ranger and the Pink Ranger, Kimberly and Jason. Yeah.
No, Tommy.
Tommy, thank you. Sorry, Jason's his real name. Sorry. It was clearly that they had top billing over everybody. I mean, including, Billy, the other original blue Power Ranger that's there.
David Yost, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, okay. It's, those two and, oh, yeah, there's the other Power Rangers too. So, but it was a decent movie there. I sat there when the villain Ivan Ooze shows up. It was a few moments there where I'm sitting there like, I know that voice. Like, I can't see him through all the makeup, but I know the voice. And it was, God, was it Grandpa Adams, Grandpa Munster, one of the two of them, that same actor that was in there. And that was kind of like, oh really? Cool moment. Had to have that pointed out to me, but because I'm sitting there, I was just fascinated on the voice. And I'm going off topic here, but it's funny when it's a feature length film and, Goldar from, your 22-minute kids cartoon shows up and it's the same Goldar, and you have to appreciate that for a minute, but also you're kind of like, well, man, couldn't you have bumped it up a little bit, made him look, less rubbery? I don't know. But I've gone on enough about it. Jay, go ahead.
So while you were rambling on about it, I looked it up. So the final episodes of season 2 hadn't been filmed yet when they started filming this. So when this ran long, they had to then film the final episodes of season 2 in Australia where they were filming this. So this does kind of take place at the end of season 2, going into season 3.
Gotcha.
I guess a couple things. I was surprised with the soundtrack. I wasn't anticipating actual hit songs to appear in this movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that was kind of a surprise. I was kind of, it opens kind of with a bang. That was kind of a cool opening scene.
Oh yeah.
With jumping, parachuting,
skydiving.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool, and they found a way to work the two morons into that a little bit. Yeah.
Although you can tell some of the shots there, as they're doing their skating and everything, how many are further back shots or shooting them from behind. I'm like, yep, those are stunt doubles.
I thought Ivan Ooze was pretty cool. I mean, yes, he had that rubbery look and over the top look that is Power Rangers. I mean, that's just the way that series was made, at least in those years. But I thought he really had a great presence for a villain. Just some of his scenes, he just took control of the scene and was a great focal point. So especially those early when he was just kind of getting revealed of his badness, and even the scene where he's going through and destroying the Power Rangers base, he just kind of had a charisma about him that was interesting. But to your point, Mike, this is just a glorified episode. This could have been trimmed a bit, and it could have been a season episode or a two-parter if they wanted to do that. But it really isn't. It didn't bring anything that an episode different from what an episode would have brought.
Yeah, I think, and I agree. I mean, obviously, the introduction of the new Zords was huge, and they wanted to use the movie to kind of bridge that with season 3. The new Zords, I like them. I'm always a personal fan of the original dinosaurs, the Dinozords, but the cast had the Thunder Zords before that, and the Thunder Zord was awesome. I loved the Thunder Megazord, and then you had the White Ranger had his White Tiger Zord as well. So, I mean, just the change like to the Ninja Zords was okay. I like some of those, especially like the ape and the bear, Rocky and Aisha's Zords, but yeah, it was. But to your point, like you can. Every single episode of Power Rangers is literally the Rangers try to fight without morphing. They lose, they morph, they start to win, and then they lose again to the big bad. The big bad grows, and then they get in their Zords and they win. And that's basically the movie in a nutshell, but it's drawn out, adding what I thought was pretty cool character moments, just like, yeah, Power Rangers movie has some character moments. I think that's a little crazy, but their love for Zordon, actually, showing their love for, basically, Kimberly says, "You've been like a father to me," like, and I think that was a cool moment, and just like going on that journey of trying to find this hidden and sacred power. I thought it was a cool scene. So.
Yeah, and there's also some other flaws that are like he was in this like stasis for 10,000 years or something, and came out and knew that he missed the Spanish Inquisition and those other things. Yeah. I mean, he just knew everything about what was going on.
He skimmed a history book in between,
Yeah, sure. So it was just kind of like, okay, you just like sold yourself out a little bit with that big flaw there that you didn't even pay attention that
he had spectrovision.
Yeah. and why bury him on Earth? I mean, a habitable planet. Why didn't you take him to some some other planet where he wouldn't be dug up? But
Yeah, but then the movie wouldn't have happened.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly. Yeah, all in all, I just think it's a fun movie. I love the Power Rangers, so I grew up watching the Power Rangers. I've watched every single episode of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so this movie was just icing on the cake for me. So, I mean, it's fun. It's not. I wouldn't call it a classic. I wouldn't call it like amazing. It's good. it's good.
Actually,
it's just
argue
fun.
Your point for you. I think. I agree with all your points that it's not an overly fantastic movie, but no, I do think that this one deserves a classic status.
I think it's classic because they're iconic characters that
absolutely
I mean, it's not classic based off great filmmaking or great storytelling but they are iconic characters. Yes. So I will go there with it and say fine, it can be a classic, but
I can agree. It's no Citizen Kane or like it's no.
I enjoyed this more than Citizen Kane, so there you go.
Citizen Kane.
We enjoy most
was my first episode. My first Nut Gallery episode.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. You remember I didn't watch it.
So. You saved yourself a lot of pain and agony.
True.
I mean, hey, it's number 1 on IMDb. Just saying.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to argue. In that, right? They don't want to have to argue which films would be better, so they just default put it at number 1, and it's always been at number 1, so they never have to argue about it. Because can you imagine if they removed that and said, what is the best film? The argument that would ensue?
Oh, boy.
So they just leave it there to save the argument. That is my theory.
A lot of people could put Goodfellas high up there as well. I've seen that on a lot of top 10 lists.
Goodfellas is good for about the first 2/3 of the movie.
I mean, anyway. I would put Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 1. Let's be real.
Let's not get carried away.
No, I agree with you. It's a classic in the sense of nostalgia. Are we right? Are we right to say that? Maybe.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think Jay's got it the best point. I think it's a classic for the sake of the characters. The characters themselves are a classic, and this was their very first movie outing, and I think for that reason, it deserves classic status.
I'm ready to just leave it at that before we
All right,
muddy the
I'm
water.
good.
So what have we been up to lately? So, Mike, you had talked about terrible graphics of Fast and the Furious, and then mentioned the Street game. So the game with gold this month, or this last part of the month, was Dunk Lords, which is also a terrible graphics street style game, but you're playing more as like robots, and you can like power up and do things. Kind of the cool piece of this though is on the court are like money areas, and if you shoot from there you get more money, or you get more power up, or you get invincibility or something. But you can do like some crazy dunks. It's challenging just because I think the graphics are kind of lame, and it's really about being able to hit your like kind of more special moves at the right time to be able to get the ball. So it seems like it's kind of, it's just a little wonky. At times the controls aren't really intuitive. It's not like the traditional shoot button that you go to. It's like, then you're just like stand there and like do something else. And it's just kind of hard to get used to the controls a little bit. So I've been playing that a bit just because it was free and I had downloaded it and wanted to actually try to master the controls, and still struggling with that a bit. And the other piece of news is I been working at modifying or modernizing our website look to make it more mobile friendly. And that does mean some of the traditional like logos and things I've had to remove because they just wouldn't work well with the mobile. At this point, I will revisit figuring out how to fix that later, but right now it's got a modern look that's definitely way more mobile friendly. Google likes it a lot more for its mobile friendly characteristics now, which was my goal. It is also now secured, so the little lock up in the corner no longer shows unlocked and unsecured, so that's been fixed. So just been doing some improvements in that believe it or not takes a lot of time, so it cleaning it up a bit.
No, we do believe it.
Good job.
So hopefully everybody likes it who looks at it.
Nice. I actually, is a nice little tie-in to your movie there. Ivan Ooze also played Belloc in Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I showed my daughter for the first time. It was actually playing in a little theater in one of the nearby towns, which was kind of cool because it was myself, my girlfriend, and my daughter, and we had the whole theater to ourselves. But she had never seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, so that was a pretty cool moment there. Otherwise, playing Deep Rock Galactic, which is a game where you are a space dwarf, and you work for this corporation called Deep Rock, and they fire you literally in this drill into an asteroid, and you have to navigate around and find the various things that you're supposed to find. So it's kind of an exploration game, a la a more modern Minecraft, but then there's almost like a Left 4 Dead aspect for it, that these little creatures basically start coming out of the asteroid because of all the noise you're making, and they come after you. And it is a multiplayer game there, so you can play online with other people. Been having some fun with that. Also been playing some Minecraft with my little one there, and just polished off Peace Talks, which is the new Jim Butcher book that I have been eagerly awaiting for some time now. And that's pretty much my month.
Awesome. I have recently been playing Control, which was a Remedy game.
How are you enjoying that?
It's really good, dude.
Yeah.
Super good. Yeah, I bought it day one, just kind of fell off of it, just life happens, and I just play Apex, but yeah, Control's really good. I've been playing it on my 4K TV, and it looks even better with my One X. So it's just an amazing game. It feels so good, like just the combat and just controlling the character, and the story it's riveting. It's a thriller. I was playing it at midnight the other night, and I actually had to stop and because I was getting too freaked out. I had a couple jump scares, and I was just like, all right, I'm done. So yeah, other than that, sprinkle in Apex here and there, and then been playing some NBA 2K because it was on Game Pass. And yeah, other than that, we've just been preparing to move. Not been buying a house, but we just put in an offer today, so that's hopefully going to go through strong. But I have been listening to Ready Player One, and
Nice.
it is absolutely amazing. I am so involved into it. I'm like 9 hours in. It's read by Will Wheaton.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
and
that.
so he's just amazing the way he's reading it. And it's kind of funny. There's a section where he's actually in the book because he's the president of the Oasis. So he's like, oh, and President Will Wheaton, and it's like, you're Will Wheaton. I get it. I see. So, but yeah, the book is amazing so far. It is. I've seen the movie and I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, but this is just way better.
Usually the case.
Usually, yeah. I can't think of many movies that are better than their book counterparts, but on the flip side,
I would argue that Da Vinci Code comes close.
Da Vinci Code is very good. I haven't finished that book though, so I couldn't argue that.
I've read the book and the movie, and I think it comes about as close as you can get to
really
capturing everything great about the book.
I really like Dan Brown's writing style. Like I got hooked into Da Vinci Code pretty hard, and then I always fall off books. I'm terrible at reading. So anyway,
everything he's written has been really good. I mean, I've read some of his early stuff, and he still had that like just draw you in, and spit you out a couple of days later.
Yeah, but Ready Player 2 went on pre-order the other day, so I pre-ordered the hardcover of that. So I'm pretty excited for that to come out.
Didn't even know he was continuing that.
Yeah, I didn't know either. So I'm pretty excited for that. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, guys.
I was gonna just quickly show something. So here's the new look, and then I can do previews for what it looks like on the different devices. So on a tablet, it'll look like this. Your menu bar will work now. It's visible.
There you go.
And then on mobile, it's still, you do lose parts of the website when you go smaller. So like here you get your quotes and your categories and everything down the side. You do lose that when you shrink it to other devices. And then, yeah. So those are your 3 stages of the new look. I'm trying to work out a way to fix the logo so it works with the menu bar that you see. Our old logo, this got hidden. So.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Maybe we can just shrink the logo.
Well, then it stretches it back out because it's a box that it fits in.
Gotcha.
But I might use the logo like here and put episode 168 in it, and then use that as our logo for our podcast.
Nice.
So we'll find a way to make it. Everything that goes away always seems to find its way back in somewhere along the line. So, that's all I have. So until next time.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.